Okay, it is a go time. It is a go time.
Right before you come, yeah.
Just ignore that.
Of course, you can just ignore that. It's fine.
So, without further ado, hey everybody, welcome back to the Daily Biker Podcast. Silence. You know, he's too busy trying to find something on his phone. I'm glad I'm talking loud enough to cover everything up right now. So, anyways, I am your clueless leader, Marcus. Welcome to the podcast. If you don't know where you are, congratulations, we're in the same place. So, this is the Daily Biker Podcast. Tonight we have a full house. Tonight, this afternoon, whatever.
The whole gang's back together.
At some point in time, I will quit repeating myself.
No, you won't.
So, I'm going to start with the most important people first.
Early stage Alzheimer's.
Yes.
We got dementia.
I have Miss Megan.
Hello.
I've got the always sweet and always lovely Miss Stephanie.
Hey there.
And I have the forever mean to just me behind closed doors because she keeps it hidden from the public, Muffin.
What's up?
I also have the other two members of the Goofball Society, Lewis
Yo.
and Daniel.
Hey there.
So Daniel met one of the longtime listeners. He came by the house a few minutes ago. My brother.
Yep, I did.
What'd you think of my brother?
Interesting fella.
He's a character.
I can see why you guys are related.
We don't look anything alike. So he has a huge passion for vintage motorcycles as well as both of you do. And I like vintage motorcycles along a little bit different lines, though, a different form of function. But yeah, I would love to do a vintage, like talk about vintage and go into maybe doing a series, couple episodes. He stays on the go though. So that's the hard thing about getting him to do that, because he's always camping, or during the summer he's kayaking a lot and stuff like that. So he stays on the go quite a bit. That's why I made the joke about earlier when I called him and he didn't answer. I was like, well, he's probably taking a nap. And he answered. I was like, did I wake you up? He's like, no, I'm just resting. I was like,
That's a nap.
That's a nap.
you're taking a nap, bro. So, but anyways, this episode we're going to revisit a subject that me and Lewis talked about probably inside the first 5, I would say. You're shaking your head. Do you even know what we're talking about?
He has no
I'm just
clue.
agreeing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mileage on motorcycles. Did you bring that list with you by chance?
No, I did not. It's sitting on my coffee table. at the
Awesome,
house.
cool.
Yeah, you're
So-
welcome.
Unprepared. Just like, here we go. Now it feels like home.
I was actually using it as a coaster for my coffee this
It
morning.
should feel like home because we are at your home.
Yeah.
We are in the original mobile studio currently at this current point in time. So, the garage of one Mr. Lewis. Actually, the garage is the only thing that's yours at this residence. The rest of the house belongs to Megan.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's the only car I wanted.
Was the garage?
Yeah.
To do trailer repair.
I'm pretty sure you had a
Trailer
bigger garage at your other house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just didn't have walls.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You just need to build a carport over here on that lot.
There's stuff under the ground there.
It's a carport.
So, anyways, we're going to talk about mileage, high mileage versus low mileage, and kind of what to look for, some of the things to look for, and why some of that doesn't matter when it comes to depending on who you're getting it from. So we'll start with that. So at White Lightning, shout out to White Lightning. This podcast is sponsored by White Lightning Harley Davidson. They have a very extensive checklist that they go through. So whenever you're buying a motorcycle from the dealership, you don't have to focus on those things. I get to see a lot of behind the scenes stuff. So I hear those conversations about bikes come in and it's like, they're checking fork seals. Obviously they're checking every single bit of your oil, but they're not only checking the tire to make sure it has tread, make sure it has air pressure. They're checking stuff like date codes and stuff like that on those tires too. But they're checking those things you don't think about. They're checking belts. They're checking chains. They're checking your fork seals. They're checking your fork fluid. They're checking your brake fluid, be your front, your rear, or whether you have a combined system. And if you have a combined system or ABS, they're going through, they're checking to make sure all of that stuff functions, which is a lot of things that people don't think about.
Yeah, there was a big section on that checklist that you gave me that I didn't bring that had a bunch of different electrical connectors, like all the switches. If it has cruise control, check the cruise control, make sure all the gauges work.
Yeah.
Do
Well,
every little
so
thing.
those things, like if you've never wrenched on a motorcycle or a car, you probably never have heard the terminology dielectric grease. But that is something that gets used on most every single electrical connector because it helps keep moisture out of those connections. And it also helps keep those connections from eroding, because even if you don't have what you might think of as water, simple moisture from a humid environment can start to rot out those electrical connections. So they run those dielectric grease inside of those connectors so you don't run into those types of issues. I've even seen them pulling out spark plugs just to make sure that they have anti-seize on the plugs, those types of things. But they're checking batteries. They're running testers on batteries to make sure that they don't have bad cells in it, because you might have a motorcycle that runs just fine to you, but hey, guess what? At a stagnant rate, that battery's not doing as it should. And a modern tester can tell you those things versus whether your bike starts or runs, that you're not going to know.
I mean, that checklist even gotten to the point it was talking about the latches for the saddlebags, making sure those weren't seized up, rusted, worn out, make sure that everything functioned.
Well, and that list too, if you look at it, some of the items on that list, you see they have them listed as check. Some of those things on that list, they literally just had up straight, it said replace.
Yeah.
So there were several things on that list where it was, air filter, oil, basically any bit of fluid. It wasn't a check, it was a replace.
Yeah.
So, and that stuff, for a lot of people, it can start to come into a cost. But if you're buying a motorcycle from a dealership, you would want the bike to be in tip-top shape. Now, that goes to the subject of buying a motorcycle from an individual. So, what is better? Low mileage or high mileage?
Depends on the condition of the bike that you're buying. But typically a older bike that has reasonable mileage for its age and in adequate condition given the mileage and age, as long as it shows that it's been maintained, those things have been done. You don't find electrical connections that have been cut and soldered, and you don't find I know everything I buy has been cut and soldered and it doesn't work.
Duct tape.
Yeah, I
Duct
think
tape.
in my experience, the higher mileage bikes have typically always been in better condition, and you know exactly what you're getting.
Generally.
Well, see, and that's the thing I experience, and you have the knowledge firsthand when it comes to the lower mileage motorcycles, because you've experienced it twice.
Lower and the higher.
Well, I'm talking about, so both Softails
Yeah.
were low mileage motorcycles.
Yeah.
So let's get into those real quick. Okay, so the Standard was a 2000 model?
2000, yeah.
2000 model, and when you took possession of the Standard, how many miles were on it?
I think maybe like 10 grand or something like that, 10,000 maybe.
And how much work did you have to... And we're talking, just to clarify, 10,000 miles on when he took possession of it was average of like 400 or 500 miles a year.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's set a lot. Now,
I mean, we're talking 2017.
yeah,
When did you start
something
riding?
like that.
2019.
Yeah, and I'd had it a little while before then.
Yeah, but you weren't really fiddling with it a whole lot
Not
at that
really,
time.
no. I rode it quite a bit. I think I rode that bike more when I was in middle school than I ever rode it when I was like as an adult.
So
Couldn't even touch the ground.
10,000 miles over, we'll say 18 years.
Yeah.
We'll put it at 2018. So 10,000 miles over 18 years. I mean, yeah.
That's not a lot.
That's not a lot at all. And some years you expect it to be, maybe 1,000, which means some years did it get touched. So
Yeah,
what?
and that's the thing. Some years, it would go for.
Oh, I know it.
Several
I know
years and not
personally.
get touched.
It's set for 2 or 3 years without getting touched.
And see, I got really lucky on that bike though because it always had non-ethanol gas in it because we knew it was going to sit.
Right. But what all did you have to go through to really get that bike roadworthy? Now, running and driving is different than roadworthy. Understand?
So really, that one, like I said, I got pretty lucky on it. It was carbs cleaned and adjusted, tires, and really that was about it. That bike was kind of a bad example because it was such an anomaly that there wasn't a bunch of stuff wrong with it.
Did you not change the fork fluid or anything?
No, I didn't.
Because see, that stuff you're still supposed to change it even if it just sits.
Yeah,
it breaks down
and I think
collects
the reason
moisture.
why I didn't have problems out of it is because I never rode it. I didn't ride it enough for stuff to break.
So
Or to know that it was broken.
Exactly.
Even after you got it halfway roadworthy, you didn't ride it enough before you got rid of it.
No, I didn't ride it enough before I got rid of it. It became somebody else's bike. Now, I know the person that's got the bike, and they rode it, quite a bit. Haven't really had any problems out of it or anything.
Well,
So
I know he's had the brake fluid changed.
Yeah, brake
I do know
fluid
that.
changed, but
I think he actually had new fork seals put in it too.
I don't know.
So, well, he did some suspension stuff because he was talking about bottoming out and all that other stuff on the rear suspension. So he took it and had some suspension work done to it, which I told him if he was going to work on the rear, he might as well do the front at the same time.
Yeah.
Just go through the whole thing. But now the Heritage.
So the Heritage, the gas tank was really, really eat up from where it had set for many years with ethanol fuel in it.
Right.
The fuel sending unit, I guess, had to be completely replaced. Of course, tires and all that stuff. And then, it's got a quirky thing even still to this day where the back brake light stays on
Yeah.
for some reason. Hadn't done it in the last
And that's a 2007?
2007, yeah.
How many miles were on it when you started?
1,800. Yeah.
Wow.
And a lot of people would see that and go, man, it's got stupid low miles
It's
on it.
pristine.
And- yeah.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you get lucky, but the thing is, most of the time, you're dealing with a huge unknown.
Well, and if you're buying a bike like that and you're going, oh, this guy's cutting me a big break because, yeah, we know it needs tires and it might not start. And it's like, so he's cut me $1,500 off the price tag. You're talking what? $2,500, $3,000 worth of work put into the bike
Yeah, well, I
to
mean,
make it roadworthy?
if you...
So then you're over the cost of what the bike was for a riding machine.
Well, and a lot of times what will happen is people will pay more, kind of like they do cars.
Because it's got that low miles.
It's got
on
low
it.
mileage, so we're going to pay X amount more to get... It's like, oh, man, it's like a brand new bike. Well, no, it's not. It's not like a brand new bike. It's...
Well, we're not going to give you any more money for a low mileage motorcycle than we are a high mileage motorcycle.
Yeah, but a lot of people that are buying on the open market, you can't help what you don't know.
Right,
And a
but-
lot of people don't understand that you could be biting off a lot more than you really want to chew.
Oh, yeah.
And then on top of that, you gave more than what the bike was actually worth, or right at what the bike was according to Kelly Blue Book.
Let's use the Kawasaki now as the other example for high mileage motorcycles. How many miles were on the Kawasaki when you bought it?
97 or 98,000.
Okay. Sounds like a lot of miles, but it's what year?
76.
So when you break down the mileage per year, it's not a lot. I mean, a lot of people out there put 1,000 to 2,000 miles a year on a motorcycle.
For a
not
bike
big
that's
deal.
been running and riding since 76.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
what kind of
Not long
issues
at all.
did you have with a 98,000 mile motorcycle when you bought it?
So as soon as I brought it home, it shot one of the spark plugs, the number 4 spark plug, completely out of the cylinder and into the woods, which was great because I
Compression's
know
good.
that thing had a ton of compression.
Yeah.
But I think what had happened, they tried to. The more I dug into that bike, I think it had set for a few years, probably 5 or 6 years.
And somebody took the time to get it back on the road.
And the guy the guy that owned it, that was his primary bike. That bike has been everywhere in every state except for Hawaii.
Is that the one that went to Daytona?
It's been to Daytona several
Okay.
times. It's been to Canada. It's been to Alaska.
Okay.
No. Hawaii and Alaska is the 2 places it didn't go.
Okay.
So, anyways, all out on the West Coast and all over. So the guy, that was his primary bike, and he rode it everywhere. And then, of course, as he got older, rode it less and less. It probably sat for however many years, and then when they decided, okay, I'm ready to start getting rid of some of these bikes, I think they did carb work. I've noticed some of the stuff on the top end had been, those bolts had been taken off. So I don't think that it's had the top end replaced, although I do think they might have done something with some cam chain tensioners and stuff like that. But I know there was some work that went into the motor before I got it. I got it for $1,500.
Yeah.
So I had the Helix coil.
And probably when you bought it, he probably mentioned something about, it's probably got a little high miles or something.
No, I mean, he listed it on the Craigslist ad. It's 98,000 miles. That's what drew me to the bike.
But he listed it as, hey, this bike has 98,000.
Yep. But also in the description, I mean, it was a great description, 98,000 miles, runs great, which it did. And when I called the guy, I was actually talking to a friend of his, because this guy, you got to remember, he was like 80 years old. But so I was talking to the friend of his, and I said, do I need to bring a trailer for this thing? And he goes, nope. He said, if you're going to Chattanooga, he said, ride it all the way back to Chattanooga. You have no problems. So when they were doing all the work to it, I think they may have over-tightened and stripped the threads on the head, which caused that to happen on that one. So anyways, he didn't know. But I did have that problem. I did end up having a trailer at home. So this bike, I put new tires. I had the...
well, you did the new tires because they'd been sitting for a couple of years.
Yeah, well, they were old tires, too.
Right. Yeah. Pay attention to that, people. They literally, before you go any further, I don't want to interrupt, but they date code tires. You can literally, if you find on the tire, what you'll see is a 4-digit code. The first 2 digits are the week, so it'll be 1 through 52, or 1 through 52. The next 2 digits are the year. So if your tires are older than about 5 years old, you need to replace your tires.
Yeah, definitely. And I did.
And I think before the year 2000, they have letter codes on the tires. Not that anybody should be riding on a tire in 2021 that's pre-2000, but they were letter codes.
If your tire is not a letter code, if your tire has a number code on the last 2, and we are not on that year, your tires are too old for you to be riding on them.
Well, like going back to the Softail standard, it didn't have code on it at all.
They had rotted off. The code had rotted and fell off the side of the
Dry
wall.
rotted.
Yeah, that FXR, no code at all.
But that's got new tires on it too, though.
Yeah, I had them when I first started. When I brought it back to life, I had them put Commanders.
Yeah, well, I remember, those are the Commanders, right?
Yeah, the Commander too.
Yeah, because I remember when you were getting those tires put on that thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the FXR is a pretty decent example too. Not necessarily a high mileage or a low mileage motorcycle, but kind of what you would expect for average mileage motorcycle, but it had sat for a couple of years too.
Yeah, I mean this one, make no mistake, it's low.
Well, I mean it's 4,600 miles.
Yeah, so it's got 1,400 on it right now. It's 35 years old.
What do you?
14,000.
14,000.
Yeah, 14,000. So it's as old as me.
But most people would look at the bike and go, "Oh, 14,000. That's average mileage." Most people. That's the thing, and that's what I've had to get my head around because I've been experiencing that at the shop because I've literally met people that, we might have a used 2020 on the floor and it's got 11,000 miles on it. Be like, "Oh, that's high miles," and I'm like, "No, it's not.
No,
That's a year of riding.
Yeah.
But
to us, that's a year of riding.
Yeah.
Bill's Heritage, 2020 Heritage, didn't even have 2,000 miles on it when he traded it in.
Well, and take my Street Glide, for example. My Street Glide has 42,000 on it. It's a 14 model.
Yeah, but how many miles were on your Street Glide when you got it? Because
20.
I was about to say, you've put a lot of miles on your Street Glide.
But here's the thing. Now, I ride quite a bit. You know, I mean,
Correct.
I ride every day.
Correct.
It's my daily.
You are the daily
bike,
biker.
or my daily commute.
Not I, sir. I drove my vehicle over here.
But
We all did.
Yeah, we all did.
The thing is about that bike, it would make the value go down on it on the market compared to others that are on the market that have 20,000 miles. Because when I see my bike on the market on Facebook Marketplace or whatever, they have 20,000 miles on it.
Yeah, most Street Glides your vintage are about the 20 to 30,000 mile mark.
And that's not bad. That's pretty good. When somebody looks at my bike, they're like, "Oh, well, you know, the price should be, you know, $7,000 or $8,000 cheaper." It's like, well, no, not really, because here's the thing: everything on that bike that is going to break has already broke. Everything that's going to go wrong, short of the rod just coming completely through the case, has already happened. So when you see these bikes that have 40 and 50,000 miles on them,
Yeah.
and they're 10 or 15 years old, the one point that I would want to make is don't think that that's not a good motorcycle. Don't think that that's not a great deal, because what you're probably buying is the most reliable bike on the market.
Yeah.
If you're buying it and there's nothing wrong with it, you're probably buying the most reliable bike that you could possibly buy.
Well, and here's the other thing, too. If you're finding a 14 or 15 model, or heck, I'll even say 16, Street Glide, say it's got 15,000 miles on it, okay? It's got 15,000 miles on it. There's a good chance those tires are the factory tires. Especially if you look at it and
Probably.
it needs tires,
Yeah.
then it's probably the factory tires.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So, that being said, Daniel
Yep.
experienced something this week. So,
We can't talk. Wait, what?
we're talking about the bike I had you come out of the shop.
Yeah. That.
So, and fortunately, it was sitting right next to another motorcycle that a lot of people might have potentially considered higher mileage motorcycles.
Mm-hmm.
So we have two 05. One of them is Electric Glide Classic. The other one is Electric Glide Ultra Classic. So the Ultra Classic was that black cherry is what they call it.
Yeah.
It's like a really dark red color. And it had 66,000 miles on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You didn't ride that one. You rode the other one.
I did not.
But the black cherry one with 66,000 miles, physical experience, physical condition, physical sight. What was your thoughts seeing that motorcycle?
Walking up to the bike, it had a lot of sun damage. The paint was in rough condition. It had aftermarket grips on it that were in rough shape. None of the buttons, any of the buttons on the dash were rough to
the
touch.
Yeah.
It had been sitting outside, and it was obvious that bike had not been well cared for.
Right. Now, I will say this. That bike, you could go ride it. It's a top mechanical condition, but that's because of what it's been through.
Yes. So that's a bike that had gone through Harley Davidson,
Right.
the White Lightning's inspection.
Where it was at before the inspection is questionable.
Yeah.
Now, I'll have people sometimes, they'll see that motorcycle and be like, well, why didn't you change the grips? Well, there was a little bit of chrome flaking off the grips. Yes, but it's a 2005.
Yeah.
Kind of once you get to a certain point,
And they were
we kind of
aftermarket
go,
to begin
you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You get to a point where, hey.
Well, they're
this
buying
is
at a certain price point.
Right. This is a
That's
16-year-old motorcycle. I mean, there's kind of like with your Kawasaki, with the 900, you know, having some questions about some stuff that might be going on with the clutch and the brake master cylinder. We were discussing earlier. It's a 45-year-old motorcycle.
Right.
Yeah.
And realistically, it comes down to the same thing with a 16-year-old motorcycle. But right next to that, the bright red one. What was the physical sight condition of that motorcycle?
It looked like it could have just rolled off the showroom floor. It honestly did. It looked like it was in great shape. It had been well maintained. There are a few spots due to age. You know, you could see that it had been
16 years old.
Yeah, it had been ridden. But everything looked like it functioned. There was no issues with the bike itself.
Yeah, physical.
This was the
physically.
one that, physically.
Yeah.
Just visually looking at it, if you put them both together and you didn't know mileage or anything about either one, I would say that one was in significantly better condition.
So You rode it. Before we get to the mileage aspect of it, anyways, I had you come deliberately to the shop to ride this motorcycle.
Yes, I had to take off.
Because I wanted to prove a point.
Right off a word.
I wanted to prove a point. So you rode this motorcycle.
I did.
Which the only other Harley that you've rode, if I'm not mistaken, is Bill's, right?
I rode a late 90s, early 2000s Sportster 883.
Okay. Yeah, that's a different
real
world.
Harley. The only other Harley
So
I've
we're
ever
talking
rode
about a
was Bill's.
bagger.
Yes.
Yeah, bagger. The only other bagger you've ever rode is Bill's, which is a 21 model.
Yes.
So different frame, different tire sizes,
completely
wheel
different.
sizes, engine, all that other stuff.
So
And
that's my frame of reference.
You enjoyed Bill's motorcycle.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, so your only frame of reference for a bagger is a 2005 Electric Glide Classic versus a 2021 Road Glide Special.
That is correct.
So how did that 05 ride?
It ran fantastic. There was no noticeable age in riding the bike. Obviously, you can tell that there are upgrades that have happened to it in the 15, 16 year period between.
Well, obviously
That
it had exhaust on it.
Yeah, it did have an exhaust on it. I could hear it, although I would have liked it to be a little bit louder.
Right.
But as far as the general riding experience, everything was solid. There was nothing that felt like it was loose or I had any issues with anything. When I got into it, because I was following you on your bike,
Yeah.
we hauled coming through Volkswagen and going around those roundabouts.
Yeah, I kept going. I need to slow down a little bit. He is on a bike that's was
It did
12 years older than mine.
It was just fine. I had no issues. It shifted well. It was smooth in every transition. I had no issues as far as the ride quality of the bike. It was very, very smooth. I was surprised how smooth it was.
Well, I have since dug into some information on that motorcycle.
Okay.
Everything that was done on that motorcycle was check and inspect, with the exception of the fluids. That motorcycle was in premium condition when it came into the dealership.
So what you're saying is that somebody rode that bike.
That's just from the service records. I still don't know. You asked what did they trade it for, but like I said,
Yeah.
I have people ask that question, but I made the statement to you. This could have been somebody's dad's motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
Their dad's not riding anymore. It's given to them. It's not what they want. They might trade it for a new Softail or a Sportster or what, God knows what they trade it for, because it's not always a situation of somebody that has a bagger wants a new motorcycle.
Absolutely.
That's not always what we experience. And even then, sometimes we've had people with baggers. We've had people trade Road Glides for Dynas because they want something different.
Well, and that was the thing that I did when we were out riding that day. I went through everything. I hit every button that was on there. I fidgeted with everything. The radio worked. It changed radio stations. I could change the volume if I wanted to.
It had a CD player.
It had a CD player. Everything worked on the bike. There was nothing. When you look at a bike of a certain vintage, you almost expect things to not function well. Like me and Lewis, we ride 1970s Kawasaki's.
Yeah.
We get on it. It was like, I don't expect the brakes to be perfect. I don't expect it to start up every single time that I start it. So things like that. But got on this bike, hit the starter, fired right up. It was smooth. It idled down properly. It wasn't. This one was a fuel injected bike, correct?
It was fuel injected.
So there was no issues with that. There was no hesitation. You got on the throttle. There was no lag. As far as if you were taking a bike out and expecting some sort of issues given the age, there was nothing.
So that bike, like I said, that bike was sitting right next to an Ultra that had 66,000 miles. That bike you rode had 134,000 miles on it. We've had people walk past that bike and go, 120,000 miles. But that was the thing. That's why I wanted Daniel to ride a 120,000 mile Harley. Okay. Now, how many people are going to say 120,000 miles on an 05 is a lot?
Pretty much everybody.
Okay. That's 7,500 miles a year. We just discussed that 11,000 miles in a year is not a lot.
No, It's not
And
whatsoever.
that boils down to 3,500 miles a year. So that bike realistically probably had years of 5,000 miles and then probably had years of 10 to 15,000 miles.
Well, it's a full dressed bike, which is what somebody is going to take on a long tour. They're going to go places. They're going to do stuff, and you could obviously tell that the owner kept inside. The paint was almost perfect. I mean, you have like rock chips and things like that, which are going to happen in normal wear and tear. But as far as condition, like we're going to compare both of them together. The other bike, all the buttons were rough to the touch. You could tell it had been sun damaged, things like that. This bike had none of that issue.
Yeah.
And
for the most part, the bike is a stock motorcycle with exhaust and the Stage 1 air cleaner kit on it.
Yeah. Well, like I said, guy could buy that bike if he's wanting a good deal on a bagger. You're not going to spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a great deal on a great bike, because here's the other thing about it that I was showing Daniel. They put one of the most requested accessories on a bike with a touring pack already. It's got the quick detach kit on it. So you can literally detach that tour pack. I told Daniel, I said, you take that bike, you can put a shorter windshield on it, like a street glide style windshield.
Yeah.
You take off the tour pack and you get like a street glide seat, which the first gen street glides all the way up to 2008 fit that bike. You find one of those seats for next to nothing, or heck, we probably have sitting in the back of the building. You jump on that bike and you got you a nice bike. And I mean, now that bike did have the chrome accessorized wheels on it, but those were Harley wheels. Those were literally...
But they were in good shape too. It wasn't. There was no peeling chrome on those. I think the only issue, and that's something that we had talked about as well.
Looking at that bike realistically, and I hate to say this because I go to the beach, I don't know if that bike's ever been to the beach.
I don't think so. I honestly don't think that. There was not a spot of rust on that bike whatsoever. No pitting in any of the chrome.
No.
None of the factory chrome had pitting.
And that just goes to
when
show.
you ride it all the time, you don't have to worry about that.
Well, and that's the thing. That just goes to show, too, that this motorcycle was not only rode all the time, but was also taken care of and loved.
Yeah.
But the factor is there's so many people that would see that bike and steer clear of it.
Mm-hmm. Afraid of that mileage.
But there's nothing wrong with that motorcycle. The tires came in and they were a year old when it got traded in.
Yeah.
I mean, which meant the person that had it was still riding the motorcycle and still maintaining it and still taking care of it.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing about it is the more you ride a motorcycle, I'm not going to lie to you, the more you ride a motorcycle, the more you have of a chance of something breaking, something going wrong, something happening to the motorcycle. But also, those things slowly happen as the motorcycle sits. So as you ride the motorcycle and those happen more frequently, the more those things get taken care of. Because you start to experience stuff like with the fork fluid. You go, oh man, this thing seems to be diving a lot. Well, when was the last time you changed your fork fluid?
Yeah.
Oh, you're if you're riding on a regular basis, I mean, if that thing's averaging 7,500 miles a year, he was getting a new set of tires every 2 years. So you don't have to worry about the tires going out of date. If he's coming in and having his regular K service, I'm not sure if it's I think it's about every 10K, every 10K service, you're talking about a brake fluid flush.
Yeah.
So those things are getting done. And even if you're not getting your brake fluid flushed every 10K, even if you're just changing the oil yourself, every time you go in and have your tires changed, they inspect your brake fluid. That's part of what they do on every single one of those. So they're letting you know, hey, we have on our record that last time you had your brake fluid changed was been 2 or 3 years ago. Might be a good time for you to go ahead and change your brake fluid. We can do it while we're down here.
Yeah.
So it was, to me, even for me, it was kind of shocking to see that mileage and go, wow, this motorcycle is actually a really good condition motorcycle.
Well, it goes back to, if somebody is riding a motorcycle like that, if they're putting that many miles on it, probably means that they're doing more than commuting. They're probably going out of state, out of town, whatever. So they want that bike to have zero problems.
And be reliable.
So they're probably doing a lot more. There's no doubt. They're doing a lot more maintenance to that bike than the guy that has like this FXR or the Softail that's not riding it at all. It's just sitting there.
Well, and realistically, if you think we'll use my motorcycle as a comparison to it, because mine's a 17 at 29,500 miles. So it's 4 years old. 4 years old when I bought it. I'm going to be right in line with where that bike is.
Yeah.
And have I had issues? Yeah, but it's not a big deal when I have an issue. It's minor stuff. Those minor things get taken care of, which prevents the bike from getting worse or having an aged problem.
Right.
Well, I think a lot of people don't realize this, but every vehicle you have, car, motorcycle, anything that's motorized is going to have consumable parts. Things do wear out as time goes on, and if you find something like this, this bike that's been maintained, that's been replaced. Okay, so it went out at 50,000 miles.
Yeah.
You've got another 50,000 miles on whatever that specific part is. So
yeah. Well, and the thing about it is, you know, where we live, and then kind of out, you know, on the West Coast, on the southern side of the West Coast, I should say, we don't have such things as winterizing our motorcycles because we don't have to worry about that. We can ride year round. Yeah. And I know there are places that do have to deal with that. But to sit there and go, well, I can only put 2,000 miles a year on my motorcycle. Well, there's reasons that are stopping you from being able to put more miles than that. Not saying that's a bad thing. You might work from home so you don't get to commute.
No.
You might work from home and have kids. So when you do commute, you can't ride your motorcycle because you have to have kids with you. I understand those factors, but, you know, me and Daniel were talking about the breakdown. I live extremely close to work. I am 6.5 miles from my house to work. And if we do the math on me working 5 days a week with an average of 49 weeks a year, because I don't work 3 weeks of the year, I'm still at 3,600 miles.
Yeah. And
that's just riding back and forth to work, and I'm stupid close to work.
And that's on the same note. If I ride the bike to work, just riding straight to work and back, I'm doing 50 miles roughly a day, and my job brings me around Chattanooga, so I have to ride. I have to go around and I have to see things. I have to go around. If I'm riding my bike, I'm probably putting about 100 miles on it a day if I ride it to work.
Well, you know, and we have employees at our shop, like notably Waldo. Okay, Waldo lives in Dunlap. So, how many miles a day do you think he's putting on his motorcycle? I think he said he's like close to 50 miles one way. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
So, 100 miles a day, dude. He's 500 miles in a week just riding back and forth to work.
Yeah.
And that's just back and forth to work.
And he rides every day, doesn't he?
For the most part.
Unless inclement weather.
Well, inclement weather or having to pick something up in Chattanooga to take back to Dunlap. But, I mean, Waldo literally, like, if he's not on his motorcycle, we sit there and look at him and go, where's your bike at? What's wrong? So, but, you know, he's putting those miles on a motorcycle in just a commute. I mean, for you, how far are you to work from here?
I can't remember the mileage. It's like 12, 13 minutes or something like that.
15 miles at most.
Yeah.
So 30 miles a day, 5 days a week. I mean, do the math. You're gonna be hitting 5,000 miles for just your commute.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the factor. So Chad, the guy that had the soft tail with a fairing, you met him, the tattoo artist?
Yes.
He lives in Chattanooga. He works in Knoxville.
So he's doing, 97 miles a day, roughly one way?
I mean, you're talking 200 miles a day?
Yeah.
1,000 miles a week commuting?
But I bet you if he had an issue, he'd get it taken care of, it'd be done, and then it's fixed, and you have no more problems.
Well, the thing about it is, okay, for me, I don't have a nice vehicle to jump in to commute to work. It's not that I don't have a vehicle, and it's not that it's not nice. It's just most people look at my little pickup truck and go, look at this little junky guy. He must be coming back from the junkyard or the landfill or something like that. Yeah. So, Heather in the background with Stanford and Son. Yes, I have a little red pickup. that my
We
brothers,
all have a little pickup.
my brother,
In our hearts.
you do not have a little pickup. I have, when they literally made compact or quote unquote mini trucks, was the generation of my pickup
Yeah.
truck. It is a mini truck. If I park next to a new Tacoma, it's like,
Oh God.
holy cow. It looks like Lewis parking his Frontier next to an F-250.
Well, I've even parked my Dodge Ram next to a new Dodge Ram. Mine is significantly smaller,
Yes.
except
yes.
I can carry more in the back of it.
I would imagine my car, I would like to park my pickup truck next to an old Volkswagen Beetle because I would imagine it's not much bigger than an old Volkswagen
Probably
Beetle.
not.
It's fun though. It can get in and out of anywhere you want it to go.
I just go over things.
I go under things.
So, on the topic of motorcycles,
What are you trying to buy?
Regency just posted a picture.
Oh Lord. What a horrible photo to post. Welcome bikers. We love having you here. You should come on down and enjoy Thunder Beach Bike Rally on today through Sunday. Oh, this is from last
From
year.
last
though.
year. Right, it's from 2019,
No, 2019.
yeah.
And they pictured Johnny. Who is that behind him? Oh,
Mickey.
that's
Mickey.
no, it's not Mickey. It's what's his name? The with the gray.
Oh, there. I don't know who that guy is.
I can't remember what his name is. If he listens to us, he's gonna be mad.
Hey.
No, it's not him. Yeah, no, there's Mickey right there.
Mhm.
No, I can't remember what his name is. Oh, no,
Sure
it is.
It's not. Yeah, that's
It
him.
is. It is.
Yeah.
It is. No, I was thinking, what's his name? The dude that had the red one with the long goatee that thought he was better than everybody else. He's coming to dogs all the time. Blaring his music. He tried to be buddies with Mickey.
Oh shit! I have no
I
idea.
have no idea who you're talking about.
You know exactly what I'm talking about because he's the one that used to make fun of you when you had short hair.
Oh, Travis.
Travis, that's his
Yeah.
name.
I'm the 12-year-old boy.
Yeah, don't say his last name, please.
No.
Anyways, yeah, horrible picture. And I'm sure Johnny probably looks at that and goes, "Why did you use that photo?" So,
I'd like to have it sitting in the garage.
what, that motorcycle?
That truck. That'd be the only
that-
truck that I would want.
Is that a
No.
Boss Hoss?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's so the picture that we're looking at, a guy that we know, he's got
More pretzels.
he's got had a Boss Halls with 24-inch wheels on the back. And he learned very shortly that those 24-inch wheels were a mistake because he broke the drive shaft or broke the axle or something right after putting them on there.
Yeah.
Do you know which engine
Twice,
he had
I'm
in that
pretty
Boss Hoss?
I think his was the 305, wasn't it? I don't think he had
No,
the big
the
one.
smallest
No.
one was the 350.
He had
The
a
350.
426. I'm pretty sure.
Did he have the
It
big
was a
motor?
LS 4.
Okay.
Yeah, LS4.
Anyways,
Yeah.
so, but yeah, mileage is mileage is relative.
Yeah.
Is
Well,
kind of what I'm trying to
that
get
was
at.
one of the things when I went and bought the Valkyrie. It had 38,000 miles on it for a 1998 Honda Valkyrie,
Low miles.
which is low miles. If you talk to any of these guys, you know, the Goldwing guys are the same. Like, oh yeah, I've got 155,000 miles on it. I've got 200 and something thousand miles on it. And that's these type of guys. They're like, that's not even broken in yet. That's brand new.
Well, the best way I want to put it out there is if you're buying a used motorcycle and you think something is high miles, remember, not everybody rides the way you do. So if you're buying my motorcycle, that's my daily commuter. If you buy Lewis's motorcycle, that's his daily commuter. So the best rule of thumb for a motorcycle on quote unquote high miles, I'm not going to tell you there's not a such thing as high miles. Okay. I'm not going to say that. If the mileage, whenever you find a used motorcycle, think of it as if it was a car. If that mileage would be out of the realm of possibility for you to be able to put on in a car, then I'll go, okay, that's high miles. So if you give me a 2017 and it has 100,000 miles on it, that's high miles.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a motorcycle, but that's high miles. Let's take a look. What are we going to incur with that many miles that rapid?
Yeah.
But even still, for someone that drives 25,000 miles a year, that's only 4 years old. That's 100,000 miles.
But I think the thing too is, if you have the maintenance records to back up this mileage,
Oh, yeah.
like, look, this is what I've done, this is what I've changed. This is every 5,000 I do a new oil change. This is I've put
And that's
new
the thing.
tires on it.
That's the thing with my bike. Every K service gets done at White Lightning.
Yeah,
So I have every single bit of maintenance records that I could want for my motorcycle.
absolutely.
I don't think I've had any work done on my motorcycle not at White Lightning. So, I mean, we're talking tire changes, accessory installs, all that stuff. I mean, outside of putting on a seat.
Yeah, well, that's something you do in your own garage.
Correct.
But as an individual looking at a motorcycle that, in your opinion, may have high mileage, if the owner has the records to back up that they've been doing the proper maintenance, the bike looks like it's had proper maintenance done, you're, in all honesty, probably going to be okay.
Well, I'll say this too. If you are looking at a motorcycle and you think it has high mileage, ask the person, hey, mileage is higher than what I was expecting. What kind of riding do you do? If his answer is just, I ride,
Yeah.
that's a suitable excuse. That means he just ride. He's not thinking about the mileage. He's just riding his motorcycle is all he's doing.
Well, it's like you. It's daily transport. You may take it to work. You may take it on trips.
If you go, well, what kind of riding are you doing? Well, I ride it pretty much every day, year round. I mean, we go to the beach a couple times a year with it. Once a month, I'll at least once a month I do a big ride that'll be a couple 100 miles. I mean,
now I will say, conversely to this, you see a lot of low mileage bikes, and I know a few gentlemen that are like this. They have low mileage vintage motorcycles that have made less than 10,000 miles for a 1960s 1970s bike, but they sit there in the garage, whether they ride it or not, they change the oil.
well,
I'm
gonna tell you now, if you pull up to a guy's house to buy an old Z1 and it's got 5,000 miles on it and he enters the door and he's wearing like a Kawasaki t-shirt, that mile's in pristine condition. That bike is in pristine condition.
Exactly.
Because for some of these guys, they don't ride them that much, but they're in that garage every weekend, checking that oil, cleaning that air filter. I mean, I know guys that literally have to replace their air filters because they clean them too much.
Yeah.
It's like you can chill out. You ain't got to clean it every week.
And you have to look at people too. Like people like that, they may have 5, 6, 7, 8 motorcycles, and they're not going to gain that mileage. But you can tell that they've been maintained.
Well, most of those people do. I mean, and I've got friends with multiple motorcycles, although I only have one.
I really hate that for you.
Both of y'all. And I don't literally mean because you and your wife both ride, so you have two. No, you have more than that. You have more motorcycles than you have people in your household. It goes to you. That goes to Stephanie and Daniel and Lewis and Megan.
Yeah, we're not.
But Megan's only allowed to touch 2 of the bikes. That's mean.
Stephanie can ride everything.
I'm forbidden.
You rode everything here except for the FXR.
And you said I have special strength and I can't touch those things.
You sat on the FXR at idle and go, no, I don't want to ride it.
That's true, I did. It was too much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
The shaky.
The vibrations.
Yeah, I was going to let her ride it, and it was idling.
I
And
will
she
say
sat
that
on it, and she's
when
like,
Daniel
no.
gets back from that ride, he said something about it vibrating. I was like, "Yeah, it's an old twin cam. They shake a lot." I was like, "It's not shaking anymore."
Well, you have to remember, my only frame of reference was riding Bill's, which was smooth.
Right.
So
well, hang on. I just thought about this. 05 Electric Glide, 120,000 miles on it. How many miles are on the Road King? 2001.
30 some odd thousand.
There you go. Yep. That's low miles on a 2001 Road King.
Very low.
Yeah.
So, but that bike, and this is kind of where you're talking about the records. You know, that bike gets a couple 100 miles put on it a year. Mm-hmm. That bike is maintained though.
Absolutely.
That bike is in the shop at least once to twice a year to have it completely gone through, checked, full inspected. Now, 15 of those 30,000 Lewis put on it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have to say, the only bike that I have that has over 30,000 miles is the Valkyrie. The KZ.
I'll have over 30 by the end of this month.
The 79 KZ has 25,000 miles on it. The ZRX has 26,000 miles on it. So, but when I bought those bikes, I mean, I had the KZ, the 79, completely rebuilt after I bought it because it needed it. It had been sitting.
I remember pretty much on the 99 percentile of how much mileage was on each bike when I bought it and how many miles were on each bike when I got rid of it, including the RC51, which I just took over maintenance ownership of it because he had mentioned about the fact, because it had like 26,000 miles on it when I got it. And he's like, oh, it's got this many miles on it. And how many miles were on it when I brought it back to him, because he asked me, he goes, how much did you ride it? And I was like, I rode it. He's like, how many miles you put on it? And I was like, That being said, I can also kind of use my average because I pretty much have been the same consistently through the years since I've started riding, which is riding between 9,500 to about 11.5 a year is my average. So if you consider when I first started on the street, if I bought a brand new motorcycle in 2009, okay, so we're talking 12 years ago, 13 years ago.
You'd be looking at 100,000+ mile motorcycle right now.
I'd be looking at 140 to 150,000 miles on a motorcycle. And I say that because there has been years, I have years at 9,500. The average is 9,500 to 11,500, 12, somewhere in that range. And the reason it kind of bumps up to that 11,500 to 12 is because I've had years where I've had 15,000 miles. I mean, my Street Glide, I had my 5K service done in the first 30 days.
Where'd you go?
But these bikes are made to ride.
Just wherever.
Okay.
We literally, so when I bought it, in the break-in period, so we picked it up on a Friday. It was like that Tuesday or Wednesday, and I was trying to get that 1,000-mile service completed. Well, no, it was that Sunday because I took it in that Tuesday for the service. So that Sunday, we decided to go to Logan's.
So it took a 1,000-mile trip.
75 miles away to Logan's.
Okay.
So we rode to Logan 75 miles away. So put in 150 miles just to ride to Logan. But that was one of those things where we bought it and that same, like, so got it on Friday, rode a whole bunch of miles Friday night, like rode for like 4 hours before we went home. And then Saturday we just rode. I think we put probably 600 or 700 miles on it Saturday. Then Sunday, I went riding for about 5 or 6 hours and then come home and got her. And then we rode to Logan's. And then Monday, I was off work, rode a bunch. And then Tuesday, I dropped it off for service Tuesday morning. So it took me a little bit longer to put the additional 4,000 miles on the motorcycle than it did a weekend. So
That's a lot of miles, though.
It is, but it really isn't. If you think about just riding around, since I bought the Valkyrie, 2 months ago?
Yeah.
I've put 3,000 to 4,000 miles on it. And that's between sharing mileage with 2 other motorcycles.
1,500 miles in a week is a lot.
I think so. I'm a casual weekend rider, though.
That's what we'll do when we ride in the spring to Panama. We'll put
You
over
two will.
right. We'll put over 800 just on the trip there and back, not counting what we ride while we're down there.
Mm.
Yeah.
So it'll probably be about 1,400 to 1,500 miles just in that 7-day time period. But there's guys that do that. I mean, literally, a guy at the shop a month or so ago who he just got back from riding out west. He had like 6 days off work, and him and his wife just decided to go ride. And they did like 9,000 miles.
So I'm in a lot of Facebook groups.
He did 1,300 miles one day.
With the long distance riders, the iron butt riders.
Yeah, so
God.
hang on now. I
Good
want to
Lord.
stop you on that though.
Good Lord.
So is the Facebook group Long Distance Riders?
That's one of them.
Okay, I don't want to call out that group necessarily, but I was going to join that group the other day.
Yeah.
Long distance riders. And anybody I know that's a member, anybody that I'm currently a friend with that shows up says that they're a member of it. You've got some members that aren't long distance riders. So I actually opted not to join the group because I was like, this is not a long distance rider group.
Yeah.
I don't consider myself a long distance rider, but a lot of people do. But some of these guys that literally are on your group have brand new 18 model motorcycles with probably 10,000 miles on them.
See, my goal in joining the group, I am not necessarily a long distance rider either, but I just like, there's a lot of people that are on there that actually are, and I like listening and seeing what they do and where they go and the things that they do and how they do it.
Well,
and
it'll probably be
it's more-
about the end of October is when we're trying to get it recorded. We're going to do a Pan America special. So I have 400 miles Pan America, probably about 100 of those off-road. But I'm going to have 3 Pan America owners on the podcast. One of those guys is a Hoka Hay member. So Hoka Hay is the 10,000 miles and 10-day ride that they do.
No, that's
They
badass right there.
They have to sleep on the ground next to a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Those type of things. Yeah, you don't get a hotel.
Mm-mm.
They literally like
You pack a tent,
Yep.
pack a tent and you pitch your tent right next to your
sleeping bag
motorcycle.
or a tent or a tarp.
Pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
I mean, I've never pitched a tent next to a motorcycle. I pitched one on a motorcycle, but not next to a motorcycle. So
Damn those vibrations.
Damn it.
thank you, Megan.
You're welcome.
Megan giving me the rim job. Oh. So that being said, the guy that's the Hoka Hay guy is not the guy that's going to be on the podcast with the most miles on his Pan America.
Oh, it's
Marvin.
Marvin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marvin rides.
He rides all the
He
time.
does.
He's also retired.
Yeah. Well,
He's got
it's
time
amazing
for
what
that.
you can do with that free time.
Mark is not retired. So, and then Sean, poor Sean.
Help.
All he gets, yeah.
I love you, Sean. Help.
Oh no. So Sean really only gets to commute. That's all he really
yeah.
gets to do.
Yeah. 'Cause
He
he
gets
has
to
no
go.
time to do anything.
Well, you guys are
he
making
gets
him
to go on a
work so
little bit of
much. Gotta.
We don't make him work. That's his choice. So, dude, it took me 4 hours just to get him to record the 20-second spot at the end of the show. By the way, in case you didn't know, the post reel on the podcast has changed now. It's Sean.
Oh, it's finally been updated.
It's finally been updated.
So, but yeah, he works all the time, and then even sometimes, depending on what's going on, he has to bring Chopper to work with him. So, he puts Chopper in the car
Do Kurt Chopper.
and drives the Pimpmobile.
In Pitmobile.
Yeah, Lexus LX, or not LX, Lexus LS.
The sedan.
It's
Yeah.
a big
The
sedan.
It's like a LS 460.
Ouch.
Yeah.
It's like a 07, like factory chrome, like 19-inch wheels.
Like Sean's in his granny mobile today.
Every time I get in there, Sean's like a couple inches shorter than me, and every time I get in there, I'm like, how do you touch the pedals and the seats?
You gotta cruise, man. You gotta
That's what
lay
he does.
back.
That's what he does.
You gotta sit in the back seat and do that.
That's what he does. I don't know if he did that. So he grew up in the Nashville area, and I'm not sure if he did that when he grew up in Nashville. I think he
What are you trying to say
adopted that
about
when he
Nashville?
Well, no.
Wait,
It's the 5 to 6 years he spent in California. So, nothing against California, although I have a lot against California, but nothing against California.
This particular evening.
I have a feeling a lot of the people that listen to our podcast out of California have some of the same things against California that we have against California.
Yeah, probably.
Anyways, yeah, so Sean, I think he adopted some of his stuff from California. We've been trying to get him to wear the house shoes with the long chingo shorts and tall socks. He won't do it.
You mean capris?
No,
Need I say a name?
Those are capris.
No.
Yes.
Well, no,
You
I know
are.
who she's talking. I know. Hold up, no. That's not bad. Okay,
No,
so
that's not bad.
so
I love him. I love this person I'm talking
we're
about.
talking about Jeff G. Holt.
I love this person.
I know you don't know who he is. I'll show you who he is. So first time I met Jeff. So Jeff has a company called V-Twin Visionary. Jeff is a super smart dude. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in the motorcycle industry. So first time I ever met Jeff, it was kind of really on the East Coast side, the big birth of the Dyna FXR thing. That was really starting to become big over here the first time I met him. I had a Cholo'd out Softail. So I meet Jeff and I'm like, I know it's not really your thing. I got a Cholo Softail. He's like, I love Cholo bikes. I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. He's like, so it's kind of funny because I'm a white dude, but I dress like I'm Hispanic, like I'm Cholo. He's like, wears like the tall white socks with the long dicky shorts and the t-shirt. Jeff has a goatee. I don't know how long it took Jeff to grow his goatee. Jeff's goatee, do you look him up?
No. My
Google him. Literally, just Google Jeff G. Holt. So Jeff's goatee is 12 or 13 inches long. Okay, and it's a goatee. It's not a beard. It's just a goatee. He wears like the flat bill hat, like just like barely like above his eyes and everything.
I love him though.
So he fits the persona of Southern California.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Jeff's wife. So he said that I think he said she's Mexican. I don't know. I can't recall.
That's what.
So anyways, his wife has Latina heritage.
Yes.
Okay. But she's got like the blonde hair and she's super sweet too. And she's kind of bubbly. He's
Sunshine.
like, yeah. So I'm like Mexican and she's like white, which is the exact opposite of what they are. So, but it's funny. So that's who she's talking about because of that. But I haven't seen him in his shorts in a while. Didn't he have on blue jeans at TMMR?
I don't remember.
You know, Jeff's got him a bagger now, and he's been enjoying that bagger a little bit.
He's also got a pan too.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
But he's learned the hard way it won't fit in the back of his van. I still don't know why it won't fit in the back of his van. I feel like it should fit in the back of his van.
I feel like it should, but unless
It's
it's
a
just
high. Well, he's got a high top van.
too tall, maybe.
He's got a high top van. Jeff, hit your boy up. The Daily Biker Podcast at gmail.com. We'll get this figured out. I need you to come out to the East Coast again. Anyways, speaking of that, I won't name the dealer, but the Harley-Davidson dealer in Maryville, Tennessee, the V-Twin Visionary Tour will be at that dealer this weekend.
Which I would love to
You
go.
will be able to meet Jeff himself at that show.
Can we go?
I promise it is going to be a killer show. No, actually, we can't go Sunday. I got too much going on.
Damn it, hell.
So, but get out there. If you get the chance to meet Jeff, tell him you heard us talking about him on the Daily Biker. He is one of the nicest guys in the world, but you have to get his attention for about 2 seconds to just say hi, because he has people just. So, I guess the best way to describe this: name something that you're really passionate about, like that's in pop culture.
What do you mean?
Like, okay, I'm super passionate about motorcycles. Okay,
Yeah.
so like pop culture wise of motorcycles, like in the world of motorcycles, I'm super passionate about motorcycles. So name something out in the world that you're super passionate about.
Besides dogs, I don't know.
Okay, so dogs. Okay,
That's a good answer. That'd be my answer. Dogs.
imagine trying to meet Caesar Milan.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like when it comes to Harleys in that world, that's how Jeff G. Holt is.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Caesar's a fraud.
He establishes dominant energy over the
Dominant
baggers.
energy.
over every Harley. I don't care if you're a Sportster, Bagger, Softail, whatever. I mean, he's yeah. But that you get what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
that reference. He's
Okay.
so everybody when he's
Everybody
there
flocks to
wants
him.
his attention. And I mean, we're talking guys that build really nice stuff.
Look at my cover photo on Facebook. He's in it.
Oh, is it from TMMR?
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's got him. It's me, her, Jeff, Joey, and Field. So,
Okay.
yeah, sad news on the home front. I don't know if I've told you. I think I did. Yeah, I talked to you about it. Field doesn't get to go to.
Oh, yeah.
Animal.
I got so upset.
Field is getting the shaft. We won't blame anybody, although Field and those that are friends with him know who is to blame. Which is it really upsets me because for this kind of the biggest reason that it upsets Phil, he's going to the Middle East in a couple months, and God willing, he'll come back with 10 fingers and 11 toes like he has now, and he'll be able to hang out and ride with us and do everything like he could before. But in this day and age, we don't know. So, for anybody out there that has an appreciation to the military, you can send messages, whether it's Facebook or the email or Instagram. You send any messages to any of those for Field, I will screenshot them and I will send them to him. So he knows that y'all are thinking about him and that y'all love him and want him to be safe while he's over there. So, anyways, I promise I will have him on the podcast again before he leaves, though.
Yes, I better see him before he leaves or I'll be pissed.
He keeps saying he's going to try and come down here before we leave, which he's only got 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, last quick subject, because I think we're over an hour right now. Last quick subject. I hope to have Brian Allen from 6 Cycles on the podcast. We're going to try and get it done. Brian's a listener. Brian lives down in Panama. Brian's a Chattanooga boy. Heather's drinking out of the sick koozie right now.
Representing sick.
Brian, we're going to be down there in 2 weeks to see you for Panama. But on that note, too, springtime. Daniel's a lot more excited than Stephanie is, I think.
Yeah.
Daniel and Stephanie are going to experience their first bike week.
Yeah. It's in Florida and there's a beach. So
It's in Florida and there is a beach.
Yeah.
I'm
There's
excited
also-
to ride down.
There's also a restaurant called The Donut Hole. Is that what it is? The Donut Hole?
Donut
That
hole.
was my nickname in high school.
Props to you, Megan.
Wait,
Props
I
to
feel
you.
like that should be the end. How do I go past this?
Sorry, Mom.
Well,
So sorry, Mom.
go to lunch at the Donut Hole. And then when you leave the Donut Hole, ride through Tyndall over to Indian Pass.
Mm-hmm.
Anything to say about Indian Pass?
Well, we all been there.
Hey everybody, this is Sean at White Lightning Harley Davidson. I want to thank you for listening to the Daily Biker Podcast. You can reach the podcast on Facebook or Instagram at The Daily Biker, or you can email the podcast at thedailybiker@gmail.com. Be sure to keep an eye on White Lightning Harley Davidson's social media pages for the most up-to-date information on all our events and where you can find the boys.